Hello and welcome back to Modalities Movement Therapy. Today we are going to discover how myofascial release and breathing can help create space in the body before we move into rotation and activation. Using a high density foam peanut, or you can place 2 tennis balls inside a sock and securely fasten that sock, and an overball, we are going to focus on mindful nose breathing to activate our main muscle of respiration, the diaphragm. These simple tools and techniques can help bring awareness to our rib cage, to our spine, and to our connective tissue, encouraging the body to release unnecessary tension and restore movement. From these, we gradually build connection throughout the body and through the core, using breath to support stability as the body begins to move more freely and open up, creating that space that we can move into. We're going to explore rotation in spiral patterns and a knee box position. You're going to release tension with breath. We're going to improve core connection. We're going to restore rotational movements. So let breath be your guide to this experience and apply breath through strength. And remember, movement is key. If you don't use it, well, you lose it. So come up and join me in standing. We're going to take that high density foam peanut or your tennis balls, and we're going to roll the feet out. So just a nice, mindful, slow movement, pushing into that peanut. Play around with the position of the foot so you can feel where you're getting the most release. Keep going. 4 more. And 3, 2, and 1. Let's do the same thing to the other side. So just reposition that peanut and move the foot around on the peanut. Let's plump up and hydrate the foundation of the body. We're going to do another 4. Keep moving the foot around if you want to. 2 more. And the last one. Okay. Just standing in this position, we're going to bring our hands onto our rib cage. So when I say we focus on that main muscle of respiration, this is where our diaphragm sits, tucked right underneath the rib cage. So when we breathe in, try and relax the shoulders as much as possible so we can bring that attention. Rather than using upper secondary respiratory muscles, we want to use that diaphragm. So when we feel the rib cage, we can feel as we breathe in, those muscles between the ribs expanding, breathing us into that eccentric contraction. So we're opening up. So it's a horizontal breath rather than a vertical breath. Breathing in and then exhaling. As you exhale, feel the rib cage dropping down. Those muscles between the ribs, those intercostal muscles are shortening, dropping down. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and then exhaling. Bring your attention to your exhalation. We often focus too much on that inhalation, but when we come into that concentric contraction, when we exhale, we're really getting rid of all the breath from the lungs and getting deeper into a contraction there. Okay, from there we're going to roll down onto the mat. So just standing lengthways. Again, focus on that nose breathing, breathing in. As you tuck your chin to your chest, roll down. Think about each of the vertebrae in the spine rolling down. And just hang out there. Now we're going to come down onto the hands and knees. take your high density foam peanut or your tennis balls, and we're going to roll not only across the front of the shin or on either side of the shin bone, we're going to roll into the front of the foot. So we're stretching across the front of the ankle. We want to get more movement into this area. Do another 2. And 1 more. Okay, now place the peanut just below the front of the toes, coming up onto your knees, hands on either side of, hands cross over onto the shoulders. Breathe in and exhale. As you do this, try and push the foot into the peanut so you are getting a nice stretch across the front of the ankle. Not only there, but feeling the stretch all the way up the front of the legs. As we open up, that's when we create that space. We want to breathe into that space and then exhale as we come back up. Let's do another 4 and exhale. And 3 and exhale. Breathing in for 4 counts. Let your movement follow your breath. And exhale. Okay, we're going to move up. We're now going to position the peanut on the front of the body over the pectoral muscles. So play around with the position of the peanut. You want to get the most release. So come onto your front and, like I said, position the peanut. You can make a fist with your other hand and rest your forehead on the hand. Let's circle that arm up and exhale, circle it down. If you're not feeling much, as I mentioned, just move the peanut around until you're feeling that release. Any too much tension in the shoulder, then you make that movement smaller. We want to increase that movement. This is one of the joints in the body that has got the biggest range of movement. Do another 2. Breathing in. And 1 more. Still working around the arm. We're going to now position the peanut in line with the shoulder. We're going to rotate the body away, bending the bottom knee, extending the top leg. Take your top hand, bring it underneath your shoulder. Now position the peanut just above the elbow on the arm, and continuing from that release into the pectoral muscles on the front of the shoulder, we're going to continue down the biceps and release this area. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move around onto the other pectoral muscles, so in the front of the shoulder. And too much tension, you're going to make the movement small. Play around with the position of the peanut. Rest your forehead on the mat, on the hand, and then circle that arm. When I'm in this position, my palm is facing up. I'm breathing in, rotating the palm to face down, and then exhaling and circle. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. The last movement, and out. Let's rotate away from the peanut. Bottom knee bent, extend the top leg. Position the peanut just above the elbow. And let's roll along the front of the arm line, releasing those biceps. But don't just think about the biceps, think about the connection from those pectoral muscles from the front of the shoulder all the way to your thumb. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back onto the hands and knees and positioning that peanut onto the front of the foot and rolling up to the knee and right down to the toes. Four, 3, 2, and your last one. Bring the front of the foot onto the peanut. Pushing into there, come up onto the knees, hands on either side, and let's breathe in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. So make sure the peanut is right on the tip of the toes. Then you're getting more of that stretch. Breathing in and exhale. 4 to go. And 3. Last 2. And 1. Okay. Put the peanut to the side for now. Let's take that over ball. We're going to focus on our breathing, on releasing the diaphragm a little bit more. So position the over ball under the belly button. If you need to deflate the ball, then deflate the ball. If it makes you feel a little bit nauseous, then work without the ball and just focus on a nice slow inhalation for 4 counts and exhalation for 4 counts. And as I mentioned before, try and extend that exhalation a little bit. So we're getting into a deeper concentric contraction. Belly button on the ball, one hand on top of the other. Rest your forehead on your hands. Other option is just to stay in this position if you're more comfortable, but just relax the shoulders, relax the head, and let's breathe in for 4 counts. And you're breathing into the ball. What's nice about this movement is it's going to help release muscles on either side of the spine in the lower back there. Remember, the rib cage tucks all the way around. Those intercostal muscles are connected to the diaphragm. So the more we focus on that cylindrical breathing, the more we activate this whole area, getting movement into this area. Breathing in and exhaling. Relax into the ball. Breathing in and exhaling. Keep going. I mentioned to you, if you've got any nausea or pregnancy, early first trimester, then you can lie in this position and just focus on the breathing. But if you can, you're on that ball and you're breathing into the release. Finish off with 2 more breaths. And your last one. Up onto the elbows, curl the toes under, and just massage the ball a little bit from one side to the other side. And release the ball. Let's rock around onto our back into a supine position, still using that oval ball. Bring your head onto the oval ball and a little bit of a nod from side to side. Getting movement into the neck and loosening up this area. 4, 3. So you'll see I'm trying to get my ear into the ball. And 1. Still in this position, just adjust the ball if you need to. You're going to now draw a circle with the nose around the ball. So lengthening, breathing in, exhaling, chin down. Nice big movement, slow, controlled, and mindful. Do another 2. And 1 more. Let's change direction. And 2 more. For the last one. From this position, just hug the knees to the chest and rock yourself to a seated position. Bring the peanut onto the mat. Now the peanut is going to get deep onto either side of the spine. If you want to choose the second option, I'm going to give you, try the first option. If it does take your breath away, then move to the second option. Make sure you're linking your fingers and placing the weight of your head into your hands. Let's open up. So just starting with the tailbone on the mat. You're breathing in. As you breathe in, you're opening up. The peanut's going to roll up on either side of the spine. As you exhale, you're coming into that tuck position. You're pushing the back into the mat. So we're going to open up and breathe in. And exhale. And breathe out. So it's a slow, steady movement. If that is taking your breath away, then you're going to take that oval ball, position it right at the top of the spine, and you're going to continue with the same movement, opening up and exhaling. So you're molding the ball into the upper back on either side of the spine, over the spine. It's a nice gentle movement, opening up, we're creating space, therefore breathing in here, and then you're exhaling into the tuck. So choose your option and work into a nice slow and steady movement with the breath. Let's keep going. We're going to do another 4. And 3. Last 2. And 1 more. On your next exhalation, on this exhalation, bring the knees to the chest and rock to a seated position again. Let's take the tennis balls or the peanut, and we're now going to position them in the lower back on either side of the spine. So in line with the hip bones on either side of the spine. The same movement. We're breathing into arch and we're exhaling to tuck. Breathing in and exhaling. Now in this position, if you want to get a little bit deeper into that release, you should feel your feet getting lighter so you can move your legs around. Any strain in the lower back, you keep the feet on the mat. Breathe in and exhale. And pulse, pulse, pulse. Let's do another 4. And your last one. Okay, keeping the peanut where it is, we're just going to adjust the one side of the peanut. So it's now parallel to the spine. The top of the peanut is where you've been working. The bottom of the peanut is now at the top of the glutes. So if you see it from this angle, top of the peanut in line with the hip bone, bottom of the peanut on the glutes. Feet are wide apart and you're going to massage the peanut from the side of the spine towards the hip bone. You can drop that knee out. You can extend the leg, working around this area. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Let's do the same thing to the other side. Play around with the position of the leg where you're getting the most release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put the peanut to the side and we're going to take that over ball, come up into a seated position. So just hug the knees to the chest. Rock the knees to the chest and you're going to breathe in, come up to a seated position. Take that over ball and let's position the over ball onto the middle back, resting, linking the hands and resting the head in the hands. We're going to open up over the ball and exhale. Initiate each movement from the pelvis. So we want to open up here, breathing in. And then push down, start tucking from the tailbone and the head will follow. So that ripple effect through the spine. Breathing in and out. You can progress to add that movement there that we did before, as long as that lower back is pushing down. Don't compromise the position on the ball. Breathing in and exhale. Four to go. and 3. So you're in this tuck position. We're still focusing on the exhalation here. Last one. Dropping the rib cage and keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Now we're going to take one hand and reach it across to the outside of that knee. As you do that, rotate, open up, breathing in. The more we focus on the breathing, the more we're going to release the lateral side between the ribs, opening everything up. And then inhale as you reach to the diagonal. So the ball is rolling a little bit across from one side of the back to the other. Exhale and reach, open up. You might find yourself rolling down or the ball rolling up. Just lift the tailbone, shift yourself back and reposition the ball. Breathe in and exhale. 3 and exhale. Breathe in for 4 and exhale. 4 to go. And 3. Your last 2. And 1 more. As you hold it in that rotation, open up the elbow. You can drop it onto the mat. Just give the head that support and reach for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that hand behind the head and let's reach that arm up. Breathing in and reach and rotate, exhaling. Here we go for 2 and reach. Keep going. Let's do another 4 and 3. 2 to go. Last one. Hold it in that position. Drop the elbow onto the mat if you want to. And pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock yourself to a seated position. Lift up and lengthen. Let's take that peanut or the tennis balls again. We're now going to focus on releasing the glutes, and then we're going to move into some rotational moves, some more rotational moves. Let's take that peanut, so it's parallel to the spine but right next to the tailbone, and hands behind you on the mat. Get nice and deep into this release. Work right into that lateral side, all the way from the spine towards that lateral side. You want to get a little bit deeper, cross the ankle over the knee. And finish off. Let's move over to the other side. Reposition the peanut so it's next to the tailbone. And give this area some attention. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're coming into our knee box position. So you're going to bring the feet in front and we're going to rock the knees to one side. We're going to release this area. If you are not comfortable in this position, then you've got the option of extending that leg to the side. But if you can, come into this position, take your hand, and we're going to work with a little bit of self-release. We're going to try and locate the TFL, which is a little muscle at the top of your ITB. So find your hip bone, lower down from the hip bone, and move around, and you'll know when you found it. You should find that little sweet spot just diagonally back from the hip bone. Once you found that, you can move the hip forward and back. While you're here, continue just using that thumb. You can even use the peanut if you want to, or the tennis balls, just to push into that area. And now we're going to bounce this hip forward and back. And as I mentioned, you probably will feel, once you found it, you'll know you found it. You might feel a little bit of tension releasing down the front of the leg into the glutes. And we're now going to move over to the other side. So let's just release these areas first, and then we'll get into the movement. Find that sweet spot at the top of the leg and move the hip forward and back. Pulsing there. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's move back to the first side. And in this position, we're going to crunch. So you can bring the hands closer together, and we're going to crunch into those oblique muscles there. Crunching. This is an exhalation. So you're coming into that rotation, dropping the rib cage, shortening the space between the ribs. We want to exhale into that movement. Now we're going to lift up and out of the hips. So that same movement we were just doing, we're going to lift up. Then let's take that hand, and we're going to punch that hand forward. So you're going to take the hand, the leading arm, and you're going to keep the elbow bent. You're going to punch with that arm. Let's exhale into the crunch and breathe in, make a fist, and rotate into that movement. Exhale and breathe in. So you can achieve the same if you've got that leg extended to the side. Exhale. You're not going to get as much rotation, but you can lift up into that movement. Crunching and inhaling as you punch. If you can, you progress into this position, and then, as I mentioned, you'll get a little bit more rotation and more activation into those oblique muscles. Breathing in. If this is as far as you want to take it, continue with this movement. If you can, we're going to push up and lift. Punch, punch again, punch a third time, and back into your crunch. Exhaling, breathing in, 2, 3, and exhaling. Breathing in, 2, 3. Let's do another 4. And 3. Last 2. And 1 more. And release. Okay, continue on the same side. We're now going to come up, punch, 2, 3. And I want you to challenge your balance lifting up off that knee. Just stay here. We're going to hold it here for a few counts, just balancing and moving around. When you're ready, let's take that knee back onto the mat and let's go over to the other side. Let's start off just with the crunch and the punch. So exhaling and inhaling, punch across. Exhale and inhale. Start off in that extended position if you want to, and inhale. Another 4 and 3. From here, coming up if that's your option, 2 and 3, and back, exhaling to your crunch. Let's speed it up a bit. 2, 3, exhale to crunch. 4 to go. 3 more. Last 2. And 1. Okay, let's drop down. Coming up, use your hand if you need to. And now try and come off the hand and balance here. 4, 3. Tap the big toe onto the mat if you need to. And 1. Nice core challenge. And sit back. And just rock the knees a few times from side to side. Okay. A quick drink of water, then we're going to move into a bit of a spiral line movement. For this, you're going to need that oval ball, and we're going to bring the oval ball between the knees. Be aware of your position. Stack the feet, stack the knees. But if the knees are not lining up, then you just look at what's happening in the hips. The chances are the top hip is slightly back, so just lift your bottom hip and shift that back. So the knees are slightly to the diagonal, and then the ball between the knees. So in this position, I want you to think again about the rib cage and opening up the rib cage as we rotate. You can just take the hand onto the rib cage, breathing in, opening up into that rotation. Let's extend the arm. So using that arm just to help us get a little bit more movement. Then you're going to exhale and reach the hand to the diagonal. As you do that, you're going to squeeze that oval ball. Exhaling, reach. Breathing in, squeeze, and exhale. Open up. So like we did in that prone position or supine position, lying on our backs, we are opening up from the tailbone. So if you look at me from this angle, each movement initiate from the tailbone. Open up. Crunching from the tailbone, squeeze the oval ball and round your spine. So keep opening up as much as you can, initiating from the tailbone. And squeeze. Pulling away from the elbow, dropping and coming into that rotation. You're reaching there. Let's do another 3. Open up. So my shoulder's coming right over my elbow, and then I'm pulling away. into that exhalation. Open up. So you're not lying into the shoulder, you're not dropping the rib cage, you're keeping everything nice and lifted. So we're really focusing on engaging these core muscles. Exhale into this rotation. This is an option you can continue with. If you can take it a little bit further, what we're now going to do is lift up off the mat, coming into that rotation. Breathing in, squeeze that over ball, exhale and rotate. Keep going with the first movement if you're taking too much strain in the shoulder, and exhale and reach. Here we go for 4 more. And exhale. And 3. Last 2. And 1. You're going to hold it in this rotation, drop the elbow inside that supporting arm, and you're going to hold that rotation and pulse the ball for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hopefully you're feeling those obliques working to stabilize you, and then lower down. Let's move over to the other side and reposition that over ball. Elbow underneath the shoulder. Make sure those hips are stacked, feet and knees. Squeeze the ball there. Open yourself up. So feel the rib cage opening you up and reaching to the diagonal. Breathe in. Squeeze that over ball, tuck from the tailbone, pull away from the elbow and reach that arm to the diagonal. Breathing in, open up. Exhale, squeeze and reach. Here we go for 3. You're halfway, 4 more. Exhale. 3. Last 2. And 1. Continue in this position. If you want to take a little bit further, let's move into this. And breathe in. Four to go. And 3. Last 2. One more. Bring the elbow inside and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop down onto that hip. Keep the ball where it is. Let's lie in a supine position with the ball between the knees. My feet are together. My feet are not too far away from my tailbone. And let's bring the hands onto the rib cage. So in this position, we're going to open up, breathing in. As you exhale, feel the rib cage dropping, squeeze that overball. So just coming into that pelvic arch, breathing in as we create space. Rib cage are expanding, and then exhale. Rib cage is dropping, coming into that tuck and tilt. Good, so you're not pushing into the feet, you're using those core muscles. Let's breathe in and exhale. So feet should be getting lighter. Keep squeezing the ball and opening up. So you continue the exhalation, getting a little bit deeper into that release. Or, sorry, not release, activation. Finish off with 2 more. Keep exhaling. Last one. Okay, now we are going to take it into a movement where we're going to push into the feet. We're going to breathe in, same movement, exhale to tuck. Now, keep the feet on the mat. You tilting the pelvis, you're squeezing the overball. Now you're going to push into the feet and you're going to thrust the pelvis up to the ceiling, breathing in as you do that. As you exhale, rib cage dropping, tailbone comes down last onto the mat. Breathe in again. Exhale to tuck. You're engaged in that pelvic tilt now. Push into the feet, thrust. Keep squeezing that overball. Exhale. Lower down. Open up and arch. Rib cage drops, squeeze the overball, tilt and tuck, and thrust, breathing in. Keep going, breathing in, exhaling, and breathing in. Another 2, opening up. Your last one, you're breathing in and exhaling. Breathing in, thrusting up. Hold it in this position. Extend your arms next to your body. You can use your arms, little fingers down, thumbs pointing up to get a little bit more height into this position. Breathe in, hug the mat with the shoulder blades, or just focus on pushing down with the shoulder blades into the mat, and breathe. Keep going, just finish off with 2 more. On your last one, breathe in. And as you exhale, articulate through the spine, dropping each of the vertebrae onto the mat. Let's take that over ball, hold on to it, and have a nice big yawn and stretch everything out. We're going to finish off with one more movement, holding on to the ball. We're breathing in this position. As you exhale, you're reaching to the diagonal, circle the ball, keep the lower back on the mat, and reach the arms up next to the ears. You're breathing in here. We're going to finish off with one more movement. So you're holding onto that oval ball. You're breathing in this position. Now we're going to circle as we exhale and reach the ball to the knees. And you're breathing in. And let's reverse the circle. Exhale. Keep the lower back pushing into the mat. And breathe in. Change direction. Exhale. And breathe. This is your fourth one. Exhaling. We're going to do 4 more. Breathing in. Exhaling. And breathe in. 3 to go. And your last one, exhale. And breathe in. Put the oval ball to the side. Bring your arms next to your body. Relax in this position. Let your feet flop out. And just focus on the breathing. Now let's try and extend that exhalation to 6 counts. So breathing in for 4. And exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just one more like that. Breathing in for 4. And exhale. Keep exhaling, keep exhaling, keep exhaling. Stretch the arms next to the ears. Breathe in again. As you exhale, chin to your chest, roll up through the spine into a nice lifted position. Well done, and thank you for joining me.